Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to another Final Fantasy Wave X's video, and we're here to talk about Divine Beast Chow and if it's worth to pull for or not. So we'll be diving into that right now. So on both sides, infinite turns, 400% spirit, true shield wield. Okay, you guys know how I don't really enjoy that too much, but I mean it's good for tanks, but not really so great for being a damage dealer, which unfortunately is on both sides, and his brave shift form is a damage dealer, so we'll see about that. The base form and two separate abilities, but I just comprised it to one because it would just take up too much room. Can cure it and then resist afterwards, stat breaks, and then of course on the other ability status resists. So very nice. Plus those fill morale gauge, and those are just normal abilities. Those are quite good. Focused inspiration fills morale gauge per live active human, or just I think just active unit. I think pretty interesting because I don't think anything else really does that, so it's pretty interesting. That's why I put that. Basic white magics including re-raise, Curaga, Dispelga, stuff like that. Pretty okay. The LB covers all damage or any damage. I'm not sure. I don't know about that one, but it's interesting at least. He doesn't have a lot of defensive stats, like defense wise, so I'm not sure if he'll be able to cover physical attacks that well, but still can cover all damage or any damage. Gives all allies HP barriers and also 4 stacks of evasion. I'm not sure why I must have accidentally erased the 4 there. There's a 4 stacks of evasion for all allies. In the brave shift form, he has Stardust Ray, Bolting Strike, and also Chaos Wave Awaken Chain, which is pretty varied. Podcast permanently, so he can chain with Tiana, for example, or Louise, or Igni. So those are options, and it's pretty obvious why that is. As a Clash Rules unit, 150 times mod for LB on Bestowment of Courage, 500% cap, 200% LB damage, 200% Beast and Fairy Killer, and the LB is 25% Staff and Peril, pretty niche, I would say. 130% Light and Peril, 30% Spirit buff, 30% LB damage buff. So that means that he doesn't need an LB damage buff because he already has 300% right there. One hit light magic damage with spirit scaling. Yikes! I don't know if that's gonna be so great, especially since that will not be. I'm not sure if that will be benefiting from the magic variants going forward because it's spirit scaling. So I'm not sure about that. We have to dig deep for that one. 150 times plus 10 times per 5% morale above 100%. 350 times max or 500 times max with Bestowment of Courage buff, of course. Okay, so another con I should have put down is True Shield Wield on a damage dealer probably isn't really that good. Because you're not really, I mean, I guess there's no variance anyways, but you're not really gonna get a whole lot of stats from True Shield Wield, but we'll see how that goes. I'm sure his stats will still be pretty good, but I think him being a damage dealer is definitely very much secondary to his base form, which is far better in my opinion. Even if he has a lot of chaining options, I feel like I like that. I like all those things that he has in his base form much better than his brave shift form, really. And there's one thing that I don't like, especially as Courageous Sacrifice is just not very good because. And I know people are going to try to defend this, saying you can just, just bring him back or whatever, and he has preemptive cover and stuff like that, but then he loses all of the mitigation and all the buffs that he had. So, I realized I may have said gauge again. I said at the beginning before I made this video, it's gauge. I may have said it indirectly because whenever I say something and I learn it, I just start saying it that way, so I already may have said it. My bad. Anyways, I don't think Courageous Sacrifice is worth it. I don't think it has no merit to anything. So I would just ignore it, in my opinion. Unless you're able to put re-raise on him, because normally these kind of abilities you're not able to do that because it's instant Like it's you can't do that. Like the Final Fantasy, those Kurosami, for example, stuff like that. Type 0 units. So I don't know if you'll be able to do that. Anyways, very much blatantly overtuned to make it tempting for my people who own Maeve to pull for Chow, of course. I can't ignore that for sure. It's definitely that definitely made it to where he is the best tank now in terms of just how much utility he has. But Maeve still has a lot of stuff too, including being able to cover for physical and magical, and having a lot of other, you know, unique abilities, including a lot of things that he can do. So we'll be talking about the Maeve versus Chow thing very shortly, and then Divine Ruination. whatever on that. That's silly. So the Maeve versus Chow thing, he can cover physical at any time. He has to use his LB for that. He can be more of a damage dealer than him, for sure. Even though she's not really going to be a strong damage dealer, at least she can do a little bit of chaining here and there with variants. He can't. So there's that. And on top of that, I mean, both of them have pretty unique imperils for weapons that don't really see a whole lot of use. So that's something, at least. I don't know. This guy seems really overtuned just to try and get people to pull, and it's very obvious. So if you are free to play and you don't have a lot of lapis and you just spent a whole lot on the previous banner with the vision card, I would just skip. If you have Maeve, skip. If that's what you're waiting for, I guess that's the most simplest thing. If you have Maeve, it's time to skip. Why would you pull for another tank? Even though this one is slightly more shiny than Maeve will be fine. Maeve offers so many good things as well that it's just hard to say, oh, you know, Maeve is like in the trash can compared to this guy. No, that's definitely not the case. They tried. They definitely tried. Chow has a lot of interesting and unique things about him that do make him tempting to pull. But put your hands like this and just think about it for a moment and say, I have Maeve. I invested a lot in Maeve. Why would I go for another tank that's also for Clash of Wills? Then I already have a tank that's for Clash of Wills. You'll have a lot easier time, I'm sure, with this Chow on the Clash of Wills. But why would you want everything to be easy? Just use Maeve if you have her. Anyways, I'm gonna go give him a 8.5 out of 10. I know it's surprising how saying I was like, oh, just skip, but 8.5, and that's pretty high considering my score has been revamped pretty much. So that being said, I had to pause there for a second. Anyways, Chow 8.5, pretty good. I would say really good, but if you're free to play, skip. And if you are spending money, I guess you're just gonna pull for this unit anyways. And I'm sure a lot of people are just gonna pull just because it's a dog, and like they like the dog memes from Reddit in 2019, I guess. So do as you will if you're gonna pull anyways. I mean, that's fine. If you did watch all to the end, appreciate you. And thank you guys very much for going into my community posts and stuff like that. Appreciate that. Anyways, thank you guys very much for watching. Again, see you in the next video. Peace.